we're doing a small launch here to brief you about this whole endeavor. And then after the presentation, I'm also going to give a talk to you on insofar as how are we going to approach this campaign and how are we going to work together, no, to participate in this project. Sabi nga nila, it's not the, sometimes it's not the big numbers, but it's the quality of involvement that we give that shall count, no, for this project. So I'm turning you over now to the proponent of a representative from the Marine Wildlife Watch of the Philippines to discuss this project further. The reason why we're all here is because of him. So I'm turning you over now to AA Yaputchay.
Thank you. Parang may dumadating pa na isa.
Oo, sige. Habol na sila.
So, good evening. Maraming salamat sa pagdalo. So, I'm AA Yaputchay. I run an NGO. It's a conservation NGO called Marine Wildlife Watch of the Philippines. It's a very small NGO kasi ako lang yung tao. I'm the director. I'm also the bookkeeper, the errand boy, and the secretary at the same time. But when we do have projects like a campaign, I do work with other people. Like we have Maguyan here, who's one of our campaign coordinators. Tapos it's a small NGO, we also work with other NGOs. Other NGOs. So this is not the sole initiative of Marine Wildlife Watch of the Philippines. We have a network of NGOs. We call it, it's small here, pero you can see it, it's Save Sharks Network Philippines, which you should find in your brochures also. So more than 20 NGOs are partner, including Greenpeace, who's represented here, and Save Philippine Seas, the WWF Philippines, like, all of that. Okay, so I'm going to give a presentation, just to put into context what this campaign is all about, and to introduce to you the Thresher sharks, of course. So, but before we go into that, I'd like to talk in broader terms about Philippine biodiversity, particularly sharks. Okay. Okay, so ako muna magtatanong. Would we know the difference between a fish and a mammal? I've worked with media a lot and they usually make a mistake. So, I'm hoping yung vloggers will do better in this.
May volunteer ka na.
Yung fish kasi, nagsuswim siya pa nandito. Yung mammals.
Baba, galing. Sama na tumingin.
Sila na po ako dati.
Okay naman ako. So tama-tama yun, yung sinabi niya. Yung the first distinguishing feature, pag vertical yung buntot, moving left to right, isda na kagad yun. Pag padapa, moving up and down, mammal siya. So, kung makita niyo yung picture, this shows a whale shark and a blue whale. So, yung whale shark, hindi siya, ano siya, mammal o isda?
Fish.
Fish. Okay. Kasi usually, pag sa media, sabihin, lamputan din, the marine mammal. So, hindi siya mammal. Hindi ko na ito. Pero, basically, pag fish kasi, they breathe through their gills. So, ang mammals, they breathe, may lungs sila, may baga, and they have like a blowhole or a nose where they can breathe. So, they need to surface all the time to catch their breath. Yung isda, dahil sa hasang nila, they don't need to surface. Okay. So, yun yung basic difference. Pero sa isda, meron ding dalawang klase. What we call the bony fish at saka yung cartilaginous fish. Okay? Pag sinabi yung cartilaginous fish, I'll show you more pictures later. Ito yung ating mga sharks, rays, and chimeras. So under mga scientific terms, chondrichthyans ang tawag sa kanila. Na-arbor na ni Janet yung buko eh. Pero may Philippine book on sharks and rays in the Philippines. So, pwede nyo i-browse yun. So, ang major difference nila, one would be the number of yung hasang. Sa sharks, you'll usually find 5 to 7 slits. Pero yung typical fish like tilapia, or yung kinain natin kanina na, anong isda po yung tangigin? isa lang yung gills. I mean, may cover yun eh, which we call operculum, pero yung gills niya sa loob is covered by one operculum also. So yun yung major difference. Pero isa rin something special about sharks or chondrichthyans is yung kaliskis nila. So we don't actually call it scales, but we call it denticles. Kasi ganito yung mukhang armor yung skin nila. Na actually, that, di ba, dentist, denticles. So, kasi parang ngipin yung balat nila. Actually, yung ngipin nila is a modified version of the skin. Kaya magaspang yung hawak sa pating, parang sandpaper. Pag regular fish, itong yung kinakaliskis yung sa tilapia. Pero when we talk about yung cartilaginous fish, meron ding dalawang klase na groups doon. One would be yung typical sharks, which is yung makita nyo si Jaws. Cylindrical yung shape. Pero meron din tayong tinatawag yung rays o batoids. Flat sila, tapos parang may pakpak. So nandito yung mga pake na tinatawag natin. Generally, tawag lang sa sharks sa Philippines, pating, sa rays, pake. So ito yung sinasabi ko. Ito yung mga bony fish. So may buto. Di ba sarap sipsipin ng ulo ng tuna, for example. O yung isda, pag sinigang. So may buto na parts yun. Pag tinignan nyo itong cartilaginous fish, wala siyang buto. Yung cartilage, if you touch your ear, that's a cartilage. So walang matigas na part sa katawan nila. Actually, wala silang ribs eh. Kaya pag, di ba pag sa tiyan ng tilapia, tatanggalin mo pa yung tinik na ribs. Sa sharks, wala sila nun. Kaya pag tinanggal sila sa tubig, nagko-collapse yung, nagiging mukhang pancake sila, naka-flat. Kasi walang structure na nagugulong sa kanila. So, that's one of the major difference. Madali rin to identify which are the male and female sharks. Kasi yung males would have what we call claspers, which is basically the sexual organ, which deposits sperm dun sa babae. Kasi they do sexual internal fertilization, like humans. Kasi ibang isda, external fertilization, like iniitlog ng babae yung eggs, tapos fini-fertilize ng lalaki na sperm in outside. Hindi naman pwede sa tao. Hindi ko kung pwede. Most of the sharks, ganito yung ngipin, yung tinatakot tayo parati ni Jaws. Pero nakita nyo kanina yung video na si Butanding. Huwag nyo pala ano yun, di pa official yung film na yun kasi pag-aari siya ng Nat Geo, hindi pa siya pinapalabas. So preview lang yung pinakita ko. Pero may mga shark like the whale shark na hindi sila kumakagat dahil kung tingnan nyo, walang ngipin, di ba? Pero may microscopic na ngipin siya. Like actually they have like about 300 teeth, pero sobrang liit that they don't use it for biting. Kasi nga kinakain nila yung maliliit na organism which we call plankton. Pero most sharks na are what we call top predators. So kumakain sila na tao. Ng large animals, usually fish or sea lion. So, in terms of yung ecosystem or ecology, we tend to say yung sharks na are top predators. Pero nga hindi usually ganun yung problem kasi may mas bigger predator pa than the shark. Ano yun? Dinosaur. Oh, human. Tama. So, I'll explain later kung ano nga.
Man is the greatest predator. Pang-article na yun.
T-Rex. So when we talk about, yung sharks kasi part of what we call biodiversity. And yung Philippines natin is actually in the top, well, we're in the top 10 biodiverse areas in the world. Di ba, hindi ko alam kung nakita niyo yung recent news na yung mammals that can be found in Luzon. We have the highest number sa buong mundo. Yung dito na matatagpuan sa Pilipinas. So very important, for example, in terrestrial context. Pero we're talking about the marine context. Nasa top din tayo sa pinaka-biodiverse sa marine environment. Ibig sabihin, ang dami-daming uri ng marine life sa Pilipinas. From corals to fish to invertebrates to all of this. So lahat ng component ng biodiversity, they play an ecological role. So ako, I have a degree in veterinary medicine pero marine ecology masters din ako. So when we talk about ecology, ano yung role ng mga iba't ibang species sa dagat? Yun ang importante. Kailangan rin i-differentiate natin what are wild animals and domestic animals. Kasi usually yung domestic animals, like yung pet nyo na pusa sa bahay, wala siyang ecological role sa gubat or sa dagat. Pero itong wild animals natin, meron sila ecological role, and importante yun how the earth functions as a healthy environment. So, biodiversity provides us with air, with food, with clean water. They even control climate. Alam mo yung mga plankton natin sa dagat, they even produce clouds. So, kung maapektuhan natin yung biodiversity kasi, maapektuhan niya how the world functions. So, same with the sharks. May ecological role siya. So, basically, sinasabi, being a top predator, ang sharks, hindi naman lang kinakain usually yung mga healthy na isda. Ang usually nakakain nila yung may mga sakit na isda o yung may hina. So, nakokontrol nila yung population in a way na ang natitira na lang are the most robust, most healthy na isda. So, yung mga population natin usually ng fish, mas matatag, mas malakas. Kasi nga meron tayong top predator. So, that's one of those. Tapos meron din tayo parang food chain na tinatawag. For example, meron tayong iba-ibang level. Kuwari itong Tala ba? Tala ba ba? Crab. Kinakain sila ng ray. Pero yung ray kinakain naman ng pate. So, pinapakita lang ito na pag-balance yan lahat, mag-exist yung iba't ibang level na yan in harmony. Okay? Pero pag, for example, tinanggal mo yung shark mo, ano yung unang dadami dahil wala nang kakain sa kanila? Itong race natin. Pag dumami yung race, uusin naman nila itong clam. So kung ang business ng mga isla mo would be mag-harvest ng scallops, maubusan sila ng livelihood in a way. So to maintain that balance, dapat lahat ng species mo sa biodiversity is present. So the same rin, wala man sea lion sa Pilipinas, pero they control fish population also. Pag dumami yung sea lion mo dahil walang pating nakakain, mauubos yung isda. Tapos I think, para lang science, when we, pag-spell ng species is always with an S. Kasi pet peeve ko rin. Walang species. So it's always species. Plural or singular. FY. So in terms of biodiversity nga, we're sa top sa Philippines. So including sa sharks. We think we're in the top 5 countries in the world in terms of number of shark species or shark biodiversity. Noong 2000, may ongoing study kami nun. We're monitoring different shark species in the Philippines. Usually through palengke, market survey, kung ano yung nakukuha. Noong 2000, meron parang 120 species of sharks and rays. Diba yung batoids, yung flat na yung hage. Tapos, noong 2005, nag-increase na siya to about 160 species. Tapos, what we found out of the 160, 23, 1/4 of that, undiscovered. So, they are new species here in the Philippines. So, it takes time para to determine kung ano, bibigyan pa ng pangalan niya, saka i-describe in a scientific paper. So, hindi pa lumalabas lahat. That's still ongoing. So, the more studies we do, the more species we discover also. So, hindi pa tapos yung studies nila. But I think we have over 200 species of sharks and rays in the Philippines. Ito, isang bagong species. Ang tawag sa kanya Gollum. Yung si Gollum from Lord of the Rings talaga. Pinangalan siya. So this one of the new species. Ito, lumabas na yung paper. So yung ecosystems natin, so if you look at the map of the Philippines, maraming areas talaga that are utilized by sharks. So sa buong Pilipinas, maraming pating.
So, ano yung elasmo brand?
Okay.
Mga tao parang pating.
Insulted sa bagay. Yung elasmo brand, yun yung kanina pinakita ko yung chondrichthyans. Yun yung order to which all of the cartilaginous fish belong to. Tapos under that, may dalawa, elasmobranchs at saka chimeras. Yung elasmobranchs, dun nagbibilong yung sharks at saka rays. So, it's just a grouping of cartilaginous fish na sharks and rays. So, usually when you talk about conservation, yung isa kasing group, sobrang lalim na hindi na nahuhuli. Pag elasmobranch, sharks and rays lang ang ibig sabihin. So, yung mga sikat nga na part, Quaredon, Sorsogon, where they have whale shark tourism going on. Tapos meron tayong tinatawag na manta bowl naman sa may Masbate. You can go diving with manta ray. May isang very rare species ng sharks called the megamouth shark. Parang since its discovery noong 1940 lang siya na-discover. 122 specimens lang ang nakita sa buong mundo. Tapos we rank number 2 sa pinakamaraming na-report na megamouth. And most of them would be coming from northern Mindanao sa...
Megamouth? Ang megamind. Megamouth.
Pero maliit na yung utak na yung bibig. Baka siya nahuhuli.
Si Gollum.
Mga pangalan, di ba? Pero parang bagong isda na na-discover, pogi fish ang tawag.
Okay, fish?
Pogi. Hindi ko alam.
Mas dapat.
Pogi. So, the more studies nga that are happening, the more we discover sa Pilipinas. Tapos, yung what we'll talk about today also would be yung Pascua Island, where we find the Thresher shark. So, going to Thresher shark. So, part lang siya ng ating shark family. Merong 3 species ng Thresher shark. So, ang pinaka-common sa atin, I think, would be the big-eyed Thresher shark. Itong common Thresher shark actually is not so common. But obviously common elsewhere. Tapos yung sikat sa atin ngayon, ito pelagic Thresher shark. So ito yung pelagic Thresher shark. Yung nakita niyo sa videos kasi ito yung nakikita sa Pascua Island. Ang pinaka-significant feature ng Thresher shark would be this long tail na almost half ng body niya. Ang haba ng buntot niya. So siya lang yung pating na pwede na picture.
Ang pating.
So yung big-eyed Thresher shark, obviously, siya yung pinakamalaking mata. Na actually, umaabot dun sa hanggang taas nung...
Were you able to touch the sharks? Di ba you're diving?
Bawal eh. Yung sa video, di ba? Don't touch.
Bawal. Pero selfie pwede.
May distance din. Pwede. If you can maintain your 5-meter distance. Pwede.
May dolphins pa rin doon.
Sa-
Natan mo. Sa Don Zol and Sorsogon.
Yung dolphin site natin, like yung dolphins kasi makikita rin sa buong Pilipinas. Pero if you want to do tourism or dolphin watching, may specific sites including Bae City sa Negros Oriental. Tapos meron din sa Bohol, Panglao Island, Pamilacan Island.
Or hindi naman sila
Tapos meron
endangered.
din sa Puerto Princesa Bay.
Hindi naman sila endangered. Endangered.
Mamaya, explain ko yun. Kasi hindi lahat endangered eh.
Ang nating presentation. I David, ano
May
yung
classification din kasi yun that we do. So ito yung 3 species ng Thresher shark na patatagpuan sa buong mundo. And we all have them here in the Philippines. Special yung Philippines, especially yung Pascua Island. Kasi dito lang makakadive with thresher sharks on a regular basis. If you do it in another country, siguro makakita ka ng thresher shark, pero swertihan ka lang. Pero dito sa Malapascua, it's almost on a daily basis. Yung parang yung Waslog kanina, pinakita na nandun whale shark araw-araw. Pero pinapakain kasi nila yun. Dito, araw-araw, nandyan yung thresher shark. Pero yung pelagic thresher shark lang usually nakikita nila. So, keep on talking about Malapascua Island. So, ito yung Cebu. Na-imagine nyo ba? It's a 3D underwater map. Ito yung mainland ng Cebu. If you go into Malapascua sa tourist, sakay kayo dito sa Maya ng boat. Parang 30 minutes lang to cross. Tapos dito marami ng dive shops sa resorts. Yung mga dive shops, dadaling kayo what we call Monad Shoal. Ang shoal, parang elevation siya from the depth of the ocean. Pero nakalubog siya, it's at an island. May parts dito na makikita mo yung thresher shark all the time. So, naka-mark siya dito. So, it's about an hour from Malapascua to get here. Tapos yung thresher sharks, parang ang type nila, 5:30 na umaga sila magpapakita. Kaya, alas 4 kami gising doon. Sakay ka ng bangka ng 4:30. Sa tawid ka doon. So, before sunrise, nakapag-dive ka na, usually, with the thresher. Pero aside from Monad Shoal in Malapascua, ito pa yung ibang areas where we've had reports of thresher sharks during dives mostly. Right? So, ba't sila nag-visit sa Monad Shoal? So, what the scientists found out is they go, usually deep water species siya, pero they go to the Monad Shoal to get clean. So, parang aso nyo, like may garapata. May parasites din dito sa balat ng thresher shark. So, pupunta sila usually sa reef area, kung saan may corals. Yung corals kasi usually sa mabababaw yun because they need sunlight. Tapos dito nakatira yung mga cleaner fish. So, may a few species of cleaner fish. May cleaner wrasse, what else, moon wrasse. So, pupunta sila dyan para yung mga parasites sa katawan nila, tatanggalin mga isda. And they do it regularly. Like daily, day at 5 in the morning. Hindi ko alam kung hirap bumising. Yun, so, kaya, since regular sila nagpapalinis, it's called a cleaning station. Yung mga divers, pag pumunta doon, panoorin nila yung sharks habang nililinisan sila. Otherwise kasi nandun sila sa malalim. Since maybe ongoing research sa Monad Shoal na they also found out na posibleng popping ground din yung Monad Shoal. Kasi biglang nakakita sila ng picture, tapos kung makikita nyo, may lumalabas na baby. Kita nyo ba? Baby na. So na-picture rin yan sa Monad Shoal. One incident lang yan. And so we think it's also a popping ground for. Okay, so patahaba ng buntot niya, di ba? Actually, yung buntot niya ginagamit na panghuli ng isda. Ay, di ba yung pero may video kami how they actually use the nail. Eh? Ano yan? Okay. Sorry. Thresher shark nila. So yung tail nila, pinagagamit nila pang whip ng isda. So it has to be in a big shoal para mas stun yung isda sa kanila kakalatin. Tapos ilang kilometers per hour yung 80 kilometers per hour yung lakas ng whip na yun. So it will actually stun or kill the fish. So madali lang nila hahuli. Okay, so ang issue namin today is protecting sharks. Okay, so kanina nabanggit yung kung endangered pa sila. Yung endangered actually is just a loose term. Pero when we talk about species that needs to be protected, I would rather call them threatened species. Kasi may graduation pa yon. May tatlong levels yung magiging threatened. One would be vulnerable, which is the lowest threatened category. Tapos pangalawa yung endangered. Tapos may mas mataas pa doon, critically endangered ang tawag. Anything above critically endangered, anong tawag na?
Near extinct?
Or extinct na. So, pag nasa critically endangered ka na, maubos ka na talaga. Malapit na. Ang whale shark, last year, vulnerable ang category niya. Pero this year, nire-evaluate yung population niya. Na pakunti pa rin yung population niya. So, na-classify siya this year as endangered species. Yung tatlong species ng Thresher sharks natin are considered vulnerable species. So, technically, hindi nga endangered lahat. So, may graduation siya. So, ba't nga sila ba nagiging endangered? So, bumababa yung population ng mga sharks natin, usually by some form of threat. And the usual threat would be harvesting from binabawasan yung population nila for human consumption, usually, especially sharks. Yeah, so sharks fin, we export sharks fin to, usually they end up in Taiwan or Hong Kong, ang pulp. Tapos ginagawa siyang shark's fin soup. So yun yung kinakain ng shark's fin soup. Mahal ang shark's fin soup. So yung mga shark's fin siomai sa mga stall dyan, usually hindi siya totoong shark's fin.
Okay.
Di ba
Kala ko mahal yan.
70 pesos lang yung tatlong piraso. Mahal usually yung shark's fin. Yung tourism, minsan threat na tulad ng pagkain ng whale shark sa Oslo. Minsan nasasagasaan sila ng mga boat. May mga scars. Or minsan yung ano lang, tourism, kinukolekta sila sa mga bote. Hindi ko alam for what.
Yata nila ko yung shark oil daw. Sama
Well, galing siya sa liver, di ba? So, bago mo makuha yung liver sa shark, dapat pakain siya. Yes. Tapos kahit yung balat nga, ginagawa na rin leather ngayon, di ba? Kung nakita yung wallet, stingray, o ginagawang furniture. So, halos lahat ng parts na niya nagagamit. So, ang problema sa shark, itong tinatawag nating life history niya. So, hindi siya parang tilapia na pwede mangitlog na libo-libong itlog. Tapos pag nanganak, napisa yung mga itlog nun, libo-libo rin yung anak. Yung sharks parang halos parang tao. Mahaba yung buhay niya, matagal siya maging sexually mature. Tapos pag manganak siya, hindi rin ganun kadami. So pag ganun, pag kuha ka ng kuha, nahihirapan sila to replenish their population. So ayun ang problema sa sharks. Together with, yung sabi kanina yung marine mammals natin na dolphins and whales.
Yun naman pwede maging anak nila, technically.
Depende sa species. Pero for example, yung tiger sharks, it can be a dozen
Si Thresher.
baby. Wala pang study pero I would assume 1 or 2.
Per
Na.
1 or 2.
Yung ibang race, isa lang Yung manta ray, isa lang.
Siya lang.
And they can't reproduce every year. Like tao, di ba? Taon-taon pwede yung Iba sa kanila, yung manta ray, like 3 years before they can
Ganun din
give
si
birth again.
Thresher.
Wala pang study sa Thresher Yung nga yung first photo na may nanganak So wala pang study. So isa yung issue with a lot of our biodiversity. Hindi pa alam talaga. Pero generally, ganun. Pero yung whale shark, they found one specimen na may 300 eggs sa loob. So I guess that's a maximum na for eggs. Pero ang lapo-lapo kasi million. Million na ito. Di ba yung, ano yung kinakain sa Davao? Sa tunay, di ba? Puro itlog yun, di ba? Di mo dito itlog. So yan, so low yung reproductive potential niya, kaya nauubo siya. Parang mas marami usually yung hinuhuli kaysa sa pag-replenish ng population. Kaya sila nagiging vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered. Okay. Ito medyo boring na to, part na to, pero may protection din kasi for some species in the Philippines. So when we talk about fish, including sharks, covered sila ng under the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Fisheries natin. So meron tayong Republic Act 8550 na last September inamend siya to naging Republic Act 10654 siya. So may provision doon na bawal hulihin itong mga rare, threatened, or endangered species sa Pilipinas. Pero under that law, sabi nila dati, kailangan ng isang administrative order bago rin ma-protect ang isang species. Nasasabihin mo talaga doon, protected siya. So out of the 200 species of sharks and rays in the Philippines, ito lang yung protected, yung whale shark at saka yung manta. Manta ray. Technically, sila lang yung protected na pating saka pating.
Saka yung iba kailangan listed siya sa CITES.
Ayun, so I'll get into that. So, anyway, marami pa tayong fisheries administrative order kasi mga munisipyo na may tourism, they usually declare those species protected sa waters ng munisipyo, hindi sa Pilipinas. Tulad ng Batangas, meron siyang special city ordinance protecting Thresher sharks sa Batangas. Tapos yung province of Cebu is actually the only province in the Philippines that protects all species of sharks and rays at the moment. So last year lang to pinasa. So siya lang yung province na gano'n. Itong Malapascua belongs to the municipality of Bantayan in Cebu. Nag-create sila ng what they call first shark and ray sanctuary sa buong Pilipinas. Dun sa Munan Shoal mismo to protect their Thresher shark. Ang problema doon, hindi naman na pipirmi yung Thresher shark anymore dahil lumalamog siya. So kung lumabas siya doon sa sanctuary or lumabas siya from Cebu, hindi siya protected. Pwede siya ulihin. Right?
Yung Daan Bantayan and Bantayan Island.
Iba
Iba
pa yun.
yun.
Kaibang munisipyo sila. Tapos yung sa Panglao, sa Bohol, meron din sila, 2015 lang nila pinasa, nag-protect din sila ng Thresher shark doon. So medyo kanya-kanya pa yung strategy. So walang national protection ng Thresher shark actually. Palawan din pala, list nila sa province nila, some shark species. Pero hindi tulad ng Cebu, like all sharks and rays protected. Okay, so yun yung national laws, pero meron din tayong tinatawag na international laws na nagpa-participate ng Philippines where we sign an agreement will follow, usually under the United Nations. So una doon yung CMS or Conservation of Migratory Species, hindi sharks. So yung mga butanding nagmamigrate siya like long distances o yung mga pawikan nagmamigrate sila ng long distances. Covered sila doon. Kasi iba yung treatment doon dahil you need several countries protecting one species for it to work. Hindi pwede kasi sa Philippines protected, paglamoy sa Vietnam, kakatayin naman nila. Diba? So dapat may cooperation from a lot of countries. Meron din tayong tinatawag na regional fisheries management organizations. Anyway, concern nila yan. Meron tayo sa Pacific part ng Philippines doon. And yung CITES nga, itong Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna. So ito yung ifo-focus ko ngayon, yung discussion natin kasi mostly yung campaign natin would anchor on yung CITES. So ang CITES would actually is an agreement, it's a convention na nag-agree yung mga countries to protect certain species from international trade. So trade lang yung ina-address na import and export of a species. Nagsimula to dahil yung ivory ng elepante noong 1960s, walang control, na naubos na yung mga elepante sa Africa. So, tinayo to para i-control yung trade nun. Kasi kung hindi i-control yun, maubos talaga lahat ng elepante. So, it basically controls the trade but doesn't ban the killing, for example. So, part tayo ng CITES since 1981. Tapos they meet every 3 years. And during that time, yung mga species na gusto natin i-control yung trade are being proposed dun sa meeting. And one of the meetings, so ito pala lahat ng countries who are signatories to CITES. So halos lahat. Yung puti lang yung hindi signatory, which includes, syempre, North Korea. Ano ba kayo? Pero halos lahat ng countries signatory. So, pag nalista ang isang species, all the countries here should respect that decision and abide by the rules and regulations of the regulation of trade. Pag-regulate ng trade, they usually classify a species into 3 categories. One is Appendix 1, mga appendices and Appendix 1, Appendix 2, Appendix 3. Pag nasa Appendix 1 ka, usually critically endangered or endangered species. Pero dapat kasi may trade. Kung walang trade, hindi nila ililista. Yung sharks naman are traded, di ba? As you've seen, yung shark's fin, etc. Pag Appendix 1, bawal ang trade. It can never be exported or imported. Pag Appendix 2, pwede, pero may i-regulate siya. Meaning, you would need to get a permit to export it and a permit to import it. So, same with Appendix 3. So, mas less lang yung regulation. Well, over the years, mahirap usually ilagay ang isda sa CITES. Kasi isang country na magrereklamo usually would be China. Kasi consumer talaga sila ng seafood. So pag nalista dito, ayaw nilang sinasabihan sila ng ibang countries na kailangan nila sumunod sa regulation na to. Getting a permit, etc. So pero yung whale shark was one of the first shark species na na-include sa CITES, which was back in 2003. Pero in almost 10 years sa CITES, ito pa lang yung species na nalista, including manta ray, ano pa ba yun dito, saka yung mga hammerhead sharks. Okay. So ito yung mga species protected under CITES. So kanina sabi ko, for a species or shark species to be protected in the Philippines, baka kailangan ng Fisheries Administrative Order. Pero we've been consulting with the Bureau of Fisheries. Ang sabi nila, pag nalista sa CITES yung species mo, automatically protected sa buong Pilipinas. So that's what we're aiming for. So ngayon, may kinakampanya ngayon namin, like the Thresher sharks to be listed in CITES kasi it has been proposed. So, we call nga yung video na napanood nyo kanina, we're trying to treasure sharks. Kasi, for example, dun sa bayan ng Daan Bantayan, importante siya sa economy. They're actually, yung tourism doon is contributing to 80% the municipal income. So, kita nyo na yun. So, kinakatay pa rin siya actually in other parts of the Philippines up to very recently. So, ito this year nakunan sa Matlo, Sorsogon. So, hindi ko alam natakot tayo sa pating, pero importante siya sa Malapascua, sa ibang isla na wala pa kayo mata. So anyway, globally, sinasabi na up to 70% of the population ng pelagic fish,
Kinabuhi na.
of all thresher sharks, nag-reduce na siya. Kasi nga, through fishery, mostly for the fins. Pero sa Pilipinas kasi pati yung karne kinakain, especially dun sa kinunod. So, lalo na sa Bicol. So yung fishery statistics sa Pilipinas, may fishery talaga kasi pag nakakahuli ng pating, in-identify kung gano'ng karami yung treasure shark na nahuli doon. Ito yung mga numbers. I think it should be in your brochures. Kasi yung price niya would be up to 8,000 per kilogram ang shark's fin when dry. Okay. So depende pa rin yun sa species sa kapon fin. Tapos last year or 2 years ago, may shipment ng treasure shark sa Cebu na nahuli. Na bawal na nga doon, di ba? So nahuli yun. Tapos they found out it was headed for a fishball factory sa Cebu. So apparently yung considered scrap meat. Yung fins ang importante eh. Yung karne niya is actually sold for 40 to 80 pesos per kilo na. Or probably less. So hindi siya expensive fish. So gawin na lang siyang fish balls. Okay. So sabi ko, before it gets listed in CITES, dapat i-propose siya ng usually a country. For the Thresher shark, nung kinampaign namin ni Mo initially for the Philippines to propose it, kasi nga importante sa atin yung Thresher shark because of the tourism. Pero ayaw ng Bureau of Fisheries na. So anyway, New Sri Lanka ang nag-propose and it was co-proposed by a dozen other countries for Appendix 2 listing, which is good enough
Regulated.
na ma-regulate yung trade niya. I mean, pwede siya huliin sa Pilipinas, pero hindi mo may export unless you have a permit. Well, that's one. Pero nga, pag nalista siya sa CITES, automatically protected na siya sa Philippines. So we think it's a better route to have it protected at CITES than kausapin namin yung BIFAR to protect it under a Fisheries Administrative Order, which might take longer than. Dahil ito, it's happening already ngayong September 24 to October 5.
Pero,
At saka yung voting ng Thresher shark, it will be taken up on September 29 daw.
pero bakit yung BIFAR mahirap maglabas?
Ang excuse nila is, pag na-protect kasi, added work sa kanila yun. Kasi they have to enforce, they have to regulate, they have to differentiate kung treasure shark yun out of 200 other species of shark. But daw ipoprotect, hindi naman nila ma-implement. Saka yung tourism daw, pamayaman lang. So, pero yun yung previous director na wala na siya. So, we're hoping na mas mabuti yung campaign. So, we sort of failed to co-propose, pero now, yung Philippine delegation kasi will fly to South Africa. Doon mangyayari yung CITES convention sa September 24. We want the Philippines to vote yes. But pinopose na yung treasure shark protection doon. We want the Philippines to say yes. Pero Philippines is not enough also. Dapat yung 182 countries na signatory ng CITES should also vote yes. Or a majority of that. Kasi yung majority yung papasa na. So, yun yung basic premise ng ating campaign. So, we have this. May technical meeting pa yung delegation. Actually, I'm attending it. Gaganapin next week sa Tagaytay. So, I'll actually find out kung sino yung delegates. Asa baka naman sabihin nila, they're supporting the proposal. I'm presenting something there to make them, the delegation, say yes. Pero ang problema, pagdating lang sa South Africa, may vote buying doon. Pag ayaw ng China, manalo yung treasure shark, sasabihin niya sa Pilipinas, hindi namin kayo bibigyan ng economic aid kung buboto kayo ng yes. So, it's a highly political meeting where countries decide which species get to live or die. So up to the last minute na pipindot yung Pilipinas ng yes, dapat nakabantay. Meron naman kaming member din ng team namin who will be in the delegation who can report to us. So kahit sa tingin ko sabihin ng Philippines next week that they'll vote a yes, up to the last minute sa September 29 will need to be on guard. But they actually. So we yung community ng Malapascua, they're going to carry out a campaign also via Facebook. So gumawa sila ng poster na to, na icon of hope, prosperity, and pride nila yung Malapascua, yung Thresher Sharks. So they want the Philippine delegation to vote a yes, pero gusto rin nila to ask the world to say a yes. So, na muna tayo kay Thresher Tala. So, it's aside from the Philippines wanting to vote a yes, may international campaign din na yung iba-ibang conservation organization gusto nila ma-protect itong Thresher Shark. And they came up with a Save Thresher Tala campaign. So 2 years na nag-run yung campaign na yan. Since sa Philippines daw popular yung Thresher Shark, sabi nila Filipino raw to si Tala, the Thresher Shark. So ang social media campaign lang nila yan is to use the hashtag Save Thresher Tala. Usually with a selfie with people taking a picture, either katabi ng tarp o may mga cut-out na available online that they can use to support the campaign. Pero sa tingin ko, it's not working out. Yung Facebook site nila parang 1,400 likes now. So this is something we can also push. Pero yung main thing natin is the hashtag PH say yes.
And world say yes.
Or world say yes. So today, ang good news, yung may ko lang dinagdag to, yung Municipality of Bantayan, they came up with a resolution na signed today asking the Philippine delegation to vote a yes for their sake. Tapos sa Monday, maglalabas naman yung province of Cebu asking the Philippine delegation that they should actually say yes. So, yung political scene, we're like working there also. Pero we want broader support sa public. Sa September 9 to 11, we're actually even having a booth sa Diving Resorts and Travel Expo. Tapos may exhibit kami on Thresher Sharks. So we'll be there every day. Tapos I'll be doing a talk there also. So pwede rin natin sabihin sa mga tao to visit the booth if you want to learn more. Pero as I said nga, yung hashtag PH say yes and saving the treasures, we basically want to raise public awareness on this issue, get government to support the protection. And meron tayong petition that we're actually targeting. Kanina 5,000 na ako, sabi ni Janet, 10,000. Na hopefully we can get through Thunderclap campaign or by other means, with your help. That's why we're all here. Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
So, may questions kayo para ma-clarify before I present yung aming plan.
Ganun na.
Yung voting lang saan kailangan unanimous? Can you like all kind of question vote or like?
Hindi, merong, I think 60% majority. So, hindi natin alam mangyari until people get there.
Sila majority decision.
Pero usually, yung mga NGO like us, kami yung nagbabantay kasi we celebrate after. So, the more parang public noise from the public, we think it would influence not just the Philippines, but the world na. Kasi nga, ngayon nakasalalay na yung hanap buhay ng mga taga-Malapascua. So they wanted to insight this, which will translate to full protection in the Philippines. Kesa sa kakusapin namin before for national. They're going for science. Tapos pag hindi nangyari to this year, we'll have to wait another 3 years.
Kasi kung national, anything,
They're not protected nationally nga.
hindi, kailangan ng law. Kailangan mag-pass ng
Hindi
law.
wala. Yeah, so
Pero-
hindi nga
pero
sila-
ayaw nila, di ba?
Hindi ko binitinda.
Ayaw nila. Nahirapan sila ba?
Okay, sige. Ano na ako, magbigay na ako ng, since we invited you here, ang idea sana, as I mentioned earlier, vloggers for advocacy siya, no? So we're inviting vloggers to become advocates for this campaign. So ang gagawin ko lang, magbigay lang ako ng konting brief about the project at para more or less we are on the same page kung paano natin i-address yung project na to, no? And then, I hope na lahat tayo nandun sa same page na yun kung paano natin siya i-approach. So, I think yung target natin ng write-up natin, no? As we know, the internet users are mostly millennials. So, we should target yung age group na below 35 years old kasi sila yung pinaka-active sa Facebook, no? At mukhang lahat naman kayo nandun sa age category na yun. So, age category. And sila rin
looks,
yung
yes.
age na live life to the fullest, no? Who wants to experience travel, no? Wants to have a lot of experience in life, no? Sila yung may technology access, want to be entrepreneurs, they're the ones who feel empowered and they have freedom of speech. Although, syempre, iba yung interpretation natin sa freedom of speech ngayon kasi sinasabi na there's so much hate out there right now, no? So, I hope na pwede gamitin natin yung energy na yun to promote better causes. No? And then, may mga available content tayo for this campaign. So, meron tayo ng video na shinare na earlier about the project na gusto natin ma-spread din through our post. Meron tayong photos na pwedeng gamitin. May reference material tayo dyan. Kung may question kayo doon sa reference material, yung mga nakasulat dyan, like may picture dyan, yung pin, saka yung tail nakatali ng kadena. I'm not sure what that is. Baka may gusto ko i-clarify doon sa mga photos na nakalagay dyan. Yung presentation file ni AA, may magkakaroon tayo ng copy, so ilalagay ko siya sa slide share para pwede natin i-embed in our respective blog posts and hopefully magkaroon tayo ng ideas. And meron din mga news articles na nasulat, no? So I would suggest that we research on that as well at gamitin natin siyang basis. So ano yung Bloggers for Advocacy, yung grupo natin? Ano yung role natin for this project? We're requesting for the group to write at least one blog post. No? Yung one blog post na yun, na parang gagamitin, yun yung contribution nyo for the campaign. We also want you to support and share the petition. Nung nag-start ako, nung first ako nag-sign ng petition 3 days ago, there's around 1,800. 1,841 ako. So, that was 3 days ago. Mukhang maganda naman kasi so far ngayon, nasa 2,000 plus na. So, ibig sabihin may mga around 300 people signing the petition per day. Kung gano'n siya, kung tumaas siya ng 1,000 in 3 days. So, ibig sabihin maraming nagkakaroon ng interest. And mas marami pa sa atin ang tuloy-tuloy na i-share siya. Pero put it in a bigger context, hindi ba sa share lang for the sake of sharing. Context is very important. No? Where are we coming from? Why do we think this is important? No? Kasama yun. And then, meron tayong ilalabas din na Thunderclap. Actually, pwede naman talaga natin i-promote yung petition page. At yung petition page, yun na yun. Kaso, gusto sana natin, pagdating ng September 22, yung mga magjo-join ng Thunderclap, lahat ng mag-join, kung sabay-sabay, magpo-post sa social media accounts na encouraging more people to sign the petition. So, kasama rin yun dun sa ipupush natin. So, technically, we're pushing for 3 things, no? The blog post, to support and share the petition, and the Thunderclap. Now, yung blog post content format, ito lang yung pakiusap ko, no? So, i-reinforce ko lang yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. The blog post must have 3 parts. Whether you put all of this in one article or you divide it into 3, it's up to you. Pero what we want the reader to go through is magdumaan siya sa process na magkaroon siya ng awareness, mabot siya sa next stage ng consideration at mag-reach siya ng decision. So awareness, you can start your article by focusing on a bigger issue or problem. Maraming diniscuss si AA kanina na parang mga interrelated issue from food, merong tourism, meron yung conservation, no? Marami siyang pinesent na agad kanina. alam din naman natin na yung mga readers natin, hindi basta-basta nagbabasa ng blog post. I'm sure naranasan na natin yung nag-share tayo, nagla-like, pero hindi naman binabasa yung blog post. Di ba? So, kaya ang pang-attract talaga natin ng traffic, yung first part na yan. So, we have to either use hot button, no? Whether you focus on hope, on fear, or on need, kung ano yung gagamitin yung hot button na yon. And then, gusto natin na apart from creating awareness, kung pwede, mag-share din tayo ng solutions based sa mga narinig natin, based sa mga na-research natin, o kung may mga may interview tayo, we can also include that in the article as the second part. And then the third part, which is the call to action. Doon sa call to action, we want to invite people to sign the petition and to join the Thunderclap. Yan yung gusto natin makita. Gusto natin na yung readers natin dumaan dyan sa 3-part na yan. Pero ang pinaka-attraction nyo dyan, yung awareness. Kasi yung awareness ng bigger issue, makaka-relate sila doon. Kasi pag sinabi nyo kagad say the Thresher Shark, pag hindi niya alam ko na yung Thresher Shark, akala niya brand new ng sapatos, patay na. No? Hindi niya mag-gets yun. So, focus tayo dun sa bigger issue na in the process mapapakilala natin yung Thresher Shark. No? Okay. Timeline. So, you're part of the first wave. So, we're expecting your post to be up anytime from September 3 to 10. Sana wag yun naman hintay kumabot kayo sa 10. Okay, gusto natin maaga. Sa akin kasi, pag lumabas kayo ng blog post, mamuna ka, ibibigay ko rin doon sa iba. Kasi ang gusto sana natin, halimbawa, si David, lumabas kagad yung blog post ni David. Pagkalabas ng blog post ni David, si Ross, hindi pa lumalabas yung blog post niya, i-share ko kay Ross para si Ross sabihin ko, Ross, apart sa blog post mo, mag-react ka rin doon sa sinabi ni David, whether you agree or disagree. Paglabas ng blog post ni Ross, tama-tama, si MJ, di pa lumalabas yung blog post niya, bibigay ko yung link kay MJ. O MJ, baka pwede mag-react ka rin doon sa sinabi ni Ross doon sa sinulat niya. So, gusto natin magkaroon ng chain yung mga sinulat natin. Parang may chain reaction tayo. Meron tayong second wave. Yung second wave, hindi na kayo yan. Pero kung gusto nyo pang kumuha ng isa pang blog post, di mas masaya. I mean, the more blog posts you can share, the better. Kasi meron naman tayong bigger purpose na ginagawa for this series. Pero sa akin, ang itatap ko sa second wave yung nasa Visayas Mindanao. Para may provincial bloggers din na magiging involved for the project. Pero since hindi naman sila makaka-attend ng ganitong klaseng briefing, a lot of what they will write about will depend on what we've written. Kasi magre-react sila dun sa mga sinulat. So, magiging discussion chain yung gagawin natin. So, hindi ko yung parang you write for yourself, you write for your audience. Actually, we're gonna spark a conversation. Yun yung gusto natin mangyari sa blog campaign natin. And then, sa September 22, meron na tayong yung Thunderclap Blast natin. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga nag-support sa Thunderclap, sa 22, lalabas na lahat yung 21 ba? 22? 21 ba? So, 21 yung Thunderclap. So, ano yung metrics? Pero technically, bottom line, ang pinaka-importante dyan, ma-reach natin yung 10,000. Pero syempre, mas sisikat lang yung Thunderclap na yan kung merong context at yung mga blog post natin na mag-create ng context na yan. Dahil yung numbers na yun hindi yung tataas na mag-isa. No? So, para magkaroon siya ng parang big leap and maybe baka mahigitan pa natin yung 10,000 is yung mga gagaling din doon sa mga iba't ibang masusulat ng tao. And hopefully, meron pa mga iba pang magsulat outside of us. Yun din ang gusto natin magulin na meron talaga mag-take na initiative na mag-react, magsulat pa, gusto rin natin mag-promote yung mga stories nyo. Kaya sana, pag ginawa natin itong blog post na to, talagang isipin natin yung change na gusto natin i-push for this project. Okay?